Hello friends and followers, here is the NC 300 receiver, which they called the Dream Receiver way back in 1955 when this was made. So I've been hacking away at it and able to get it working now somewhat. It probably didn't need much really, but I pulled all the capacitors out from the previous owner and I figured the main capacitor would work, and it seems to. So you can see I just tucked in some smaller capacitors and kept the larger one, which the gentleman had disconnected, and he had hacked in a bunch of capacitors. I'm not sure for what, but yeah, the guy had hacked in all sorts of capacitors, like these were all stuffed in there. So I'm not sure I made this thing any better, really. I don't know if his circuit worked or not. I didn't trust it. I just pulled everything out. At any rate, I tried two things. I also tried to put in a DC circuit, which will power the oscillator tube at roughly 6.3 volts. That didn't work out too well. I'm ending up producing about 16 volts DC there and 6-volt regulator running really hot, and I'm only getting like 5.5 volts out of it or something, so I don't think it's really regulating. But I've been at this for hours, so I'm not thinking I'm gonna do any more with it, but let's get some voltage measurements and show you what's going on here. Okay. So of concern is, I also put diodes in here and jumped out the tube rectifier, which gave me probably 60 more volts that I didn't really want. So I'm supposed to get 150 volts out of this thing for the B+, not 225. So I got the radio now on the wall socket voltage. It's not being pampered by anything. It's not being pampered. So it's running off a wall socket voltage of 120 or so. So right about here, I should get about 150 by the book, I think. Getting about 221 there. That's kind of high. I'm not sure I want to leave it like that. Okay, this point here is even more raw. That's coming in at 250, so yeah, these two diodes are probably evil. I probably got to get those out of there, put the tube back in, or put in a resistor. Put like a resistor in here to drop that stuff down. Okay, and the DC component. So I can go here to AC and see how pure the DC is here. So I was getting about 3 volts of DC right about here, which isn't so good, but let's see, what am I getting there? That's kind of high, so I'm getting about 3.5 volts AC, which is ripple. Here on the 150 volt line, it's creeping up there, but not the worst. So anyway, you don't want to see that. That can interfere with your reception. Put hum on your signals and everything else. So I'm not sure I'm going to deal with that yet. Okay, and this little supply here for the oscillator tube, that's just pure unrectified DC there, and that's coming in at 1.4. Okay, now it's got some AC on it, doesn't it? Which it should not. Okay, that's coming in at 16 volts. I'm surprised there's a lot of AC on that. So this capacitor could be junk, which I reused from the radio. So that's got about 16 volts DC on it. And coming off this thing, this is the output wire, so we got 16 going into the regulator. And going out to the oscillator tube heater, 5.5 volts. So you would think that if I could vary the voltage up and down on the line current, this shouldn't move. That was the intention, that would regulate well. But since it's not up to 6.0 volts, I don't think it's regulating at all. I think it's wasn't a good solution at all. I probably need a more stout device. This is some made in China thing I got from Bojack, so that's no fun. So anyway, that's what's been going on. I did clean up all this. This capacitor here is for the cathode return on a 6AQ5 tube, so that's right about there, and they put a resistor in there, which seems a little high, but it's working. So that's as far as I got. The radio does work. I have to fix the string in it. The string's all jammed up in there. That runs the turret that turns the frequencies. But anyway, this thing is stuck on 20 meters right now, but it does somewhat work. So I jacked in an antenna and I jacked in a speaker. There's the speaker, which I run a lot on the other radio. But yeah, the damn thing, it's jammed on 10 meters or 20 meters, but it works somewhat. The meter here doesn't work, but it hears things. So this antenna control was goofed up. The antenna matching was damaged. It's still damaged. I gotta fix that, but on 20 meters, it does work. Nothing strong. There we go. This guy talking on the radio is irritating. He brags about himself day and night. He never talks about anything else but himself. At any rate, there's the radio. All right, that's my demo. Not much of a demo, but it still needs a lot of work. But it does seem like it might come back to life. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day.